Hi, my name is Kat, and I'm here to discuss the lost city of Petra, Jordan. Petra is located in the southern part of Jordan. It's near the countries of Syria, Iraq, present-day Israel, and present-day Saudi Arabia. Petra actually means stone or rock in the Greek language, and it's derived from Greek. It has been inhabited since ancient times, 6th century BC to be more specific. The city began to prosper after the Nabateans, which is a nomadic Bedouin tribe, settled there. They made Petra their capital, and the Nabatean people began developing trade with caravans that would travel through their territory, and they would trade things like spices and incense. Unfortunately, though, around the 8th century BC, the city began being abandoned because trade routes had changed, and Petra was experiencing a series of earthquakes. Petra, unfortunately, sat empty up until 1812, which fortunately they were rediscovered. The city was rediscovered by a Swiss explorer that went by the name of Jean-Louis Bocard. These are trade routes regarding incense. As you can see, this is from Petra, Jordan, all the way to Gaza in occupied Palestine. This image shows historical monuments and features of Petra. El Dayed, which is a monastery, was actually used as a church during Byzantine times. Places like Al Khazna, the treasury, it's actually an empty tomb. The public can't go inside for whatever reason. I want to do a little bit more research as to why. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but yeah, so those are two interesting ones. They have things like tombs and the Great Temple and the High Place of Sacrifice. And you can see many other features within the map. In these two images, you can kind of see the Nabatean Empire and how big it was. In the right image, you can see the landscape of Petra and how it was rocky and mountainous, and still is. The historical demographics. So the Nabatean population was estimated to be around 20,000 people. They spoke Arabic and dialect, but they wrote in Aramaic with their inscriptions. They also spoke Aramaic when it came to official or commercial business with other countries. Their primary religion was the Nabatean religion, which was polytheistic. The demographics today, however, contains Sunni Muslims of 92% in Jordan. They take part in things like Ramadan and Eid. Women are to be dressed modestly. Petra population is 6,831 people. And they speak languages like Arabic. Arabic is actually their national language, but their more specific dialects is Jordanian Arabic, but more widely known as Levantine Arabic. The architecture of Petra is very important to archaeologists and historians today. The city is actually known as the Rose City because of the color of the stone. The Nabateans carved the architecture, they carved the city buildings using a technique called rock cut architecture. The city also contains a water management system, which is super interesting because of the heavy rainfall that occurred each winter. The Nabateans developed flood bypass tunnels, and the aqueducts that they had would carry water from the mountains to reservoirs for the residents. The climate is dry and hot. They also had short, cool winters. And you can see in the graph on the right, the type of climate that is involved in Jordan specifically. You see the minimum temperature, the mean temperature, and the max between the years of 1991 and 2020. Weathering damage on Petra Mountains is very common because of natural hazards such as earthquakes and floods. And like I mentioned earlier, Petra did experience a series of earthquakes. Water, humidity, and salt was also found around the area, so that can definitely be a part of the weathering process. Petra region is primarily composed of sedimentary rock. These images are actually derived from a reading that I used for this project. So if you wanted more information about that, you can also check out my references or just let me know and I'll send you the link for the reading. I found interesting the water management system because I would never think that Petra would rain because of how dry and hot it is. I also found how it was rediscovered interesting because if it weren't for that one person, Petra probably wouldn't be known today. So that's super fascinating how one person was able to rediscover this area And the difference of culture from then and now, it is completely different. And it's just fascinating because it's the same ethnic people, however, their beliefs and cultures are completely different. So, yeah. And here are a list of my references. So if you want to take a picture of this, you may, or you could just refer back to my project, the presentation, or you can always let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.